Welcome to MCN. Today, we're going to walk you through Alpinestars' new Supertech R7 helmet and give you our first impressions after riding it on road and on track. So firstly, we're going to give you a bit of a lowdown on sort of where this helmet sits in the market. So this is not Alpinestars' first road helmet. They released the R10 back in 2023, and that's sort of the all singing, all dancing, carbon race replica range topping lid. So that's the one that, you know, you can get it FIM approved. It's really aggressive. It's got aggressive aerodynamics, aggressive ventilation. It's really for, you know, track riding, like faster road riding. It's for those who really want the premium level helmet. So what they've done is they've come in with a more road biased helmet. So this is the Supertech R7 or SR-7 as it's known for short. And this essentially is a slightly more entry level and a slightly more road biased helmet. So what that means is, firstly, it is quite a bit cheaper. Now, the UK prices have only just been released. They start at £449. This one in the super swanky colourway that I've opted for, which looks really nice, it's got a really nice finish, is £599, so it's quite a bit more expensive, but it's still a significant chunk cheaper than the R10. So the cost saving comes from, you know, a variety of different places. The main one being the shell. It's now fiberglass composite, so it's different to the SR10 in that respect, but it still has a lot of really nice safety features on it. It's ECE 2206 approved. It exceeds a lot of those testing parameters, and it's got some really nice touches on it as well. Like, it's got these little cutouts where your collarbones sit, so in the case of a heavy impact, there's, you know, less chance of it smashing through and damaging a shoulder or a collarbone. Now, in terms of the finish, it's really nice, and the fit is really nice too. Now, this is all dependent on, you know, what your helmet preference is, how your head is. For me, I sit between a small and a medium for a lot of brands. I favour some brands more than others just because of how they fit and how they sit on my head. And I found that even though the cheek pads are all interchangeable between sizes, so if you want thinner or thicker cheek pads, you can completely change them. And it also has a really nice feature as well, where you can actually adjust the liner inside to change the angle of how the helmet sits. It didn't need too much adjustment to fit nicely on my head and in the place that I want it to be. Now, sometimes helmets require a little bit of a, you know, a sort of breaking in, but I found the liner to be, you know, it's really plush, it's really nice, it's really well made as well. There was a few gripes with some of the first R10s that came out that maybe the quality was missing in some aspects, but it looks like Alpinestars have sorted it out quite a lot for this, although I will be using it throughout summer and throughout this year to give it a full proper review of how it holds up through all weathers and for all riding. And on the subject of fit as well, as you might imagine, there are different shell sizes for the different helmet sizes. So there's 3 shell sizes that cover the 6 total sizes for, you know, optimum fit, optimum safety, and optimum aerodynamics. On the subject of aero, this is something that's really important for a road helmet like this, which is, you know, it's going to be used on the road, it's going to be used on A roads, B roads. It's going to be used on a range of different bikes as well, with different fairings, so venture bikes, sports bikes, nakeds. They all, you know, they all give different challenges where aerodynamics are concerned, and Alpinestars have worked really, really hard on making this helmet as slippery and as stable as possible, while still trying to keep that cost down, because it's a fine balance. So there's some really nice little features on this. So it's got a slightly less aggressive wing on the rear compared to the R10, but it still has these little side winglets as well, which are there to aid stability. Now, I sort of look at these things sometimes as maybe they're a bit of a gimmick, but I actually found that the stability of this helmet is really impressive. So I've used it for a couple of days on the road in the UK. I used it for a full day on the road and a full day on track in the States, where it was super windy and super open. And I found like jumping from bike to bike to bike, fairing, no fairing, you know, even with a massive camera sat in front, the actual stability of this helmet is really impressive. Another thing to note as well is that there's quite a lot of ventilation on offer. Now, I found this is both good and bad. The vents are really nice. You get a lot of intake and exhaust ports. They're really easy to adjust, except from the main one at the front, which is housed in by a rubber bung. Now, all of these vents are really nice. They work really well, except this front one, because you actually have to completely remove the rubber bung and take it out, and you've got nowhere to place it. So I have actually already lost one. It's just a bit frustrating. It would have been nicer to have had, you know, just like a little pull down, or, you know, something that you don't have to remove, because it's so easy to get lost, and it is just tiny as well. So it's something that you know, it's a minor niggle, but it's something that if you are using the vents a lot, you will have to take it out and, you know, put it in a pocket. If you're wearing levers, it's going to be a nightmare. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Another thing that's worth mentioning is the visibility. Now, I'm really impressed with what you can see from this helmet, because it's so important, especially on a helmet that's marketed to be sporty, because it's got to deal with all situations. It's got to be sitting like that when you're sitting on a motorway. You've got to be able to see perfectly when you're tucked in and on the tank. You want to be able to see your peripheral as well, you know, when you're coming off slip roads and stuff. And I find that all fields of vision work really well. You can also adjust how the helmet sits with that A fitment system, which is really nice. And the clarity from the visor is really nice as well. So these visors are actually interchangeable with the R10. And I've seen a little sneak peek of some of the colour schemes they've got coming out. They've got some really swanky colours for the visors coming out, which is really cool. Now, I really like the visor. It comes with a pin locker standard. I haven't put it in, and I didn't actually find any major issues with fogging so far, even in these cooler temperatures. The only niggle that I can sort of find with the visor is that because it shares the same system as the R10, and because it shares the same visor, it comes with the same locking mechanism, which is really good for the track. It's a really good system. I think even for the road, these are really good as well, because you see a lot of people that, you know, if you have a slight tip off, if you have a big impact, the visors can open, you can get stuff in, you know, inside your helmet. It's really good, especially with sporty gloves, but if you've got slightly thicker gloves, it can be a bit of a pain to fill that little push button in to open up. So for this, maybe I'd have liked a slightly easier button, a slightly chunkier button, just to make it a bit easier. But I think I will get more used to that over the time when you're getting a more natural feel for where it is and how it opens. But I think one of the main plus points on the SR7 compared to the 10 is how it sits in terms of how noisy it is more than anything. You know, with a road lid, you want it to be quiet, especially if you're going to be doing those longer journeys. And I was really impressed with how quiet this helmet is. Now, I always wear earplugs in every helmet, regardless of what I'm doing. I found that the actual soundproofing and sound deadening in this helmet is really nice. As I said, I used it on a range of bikes, 70, 80 mile an hour. It's not too noisy at all. And it is a really suitable helmet for the road. And another aspect that we really wanted to show you, I've sort of saved the best till last here, and this is the new Alpinestars A-Connect Intercom. Now, the full details haven't actually been revealed for that yet. I don't have a price, but what you need to know is it's Alpinestars' new intercom system. So although it's branded Alpinestars, it is essentially Senna software. So even when you connect it up, you use the Senna app, and it is really nice how it's been integrated into the helmet. Now, this is something you buy extra. This comes with sort of, you know, a little panel that covers up, but it fits in really nicely. It's really plush to the helmet. It looks really smart, and it can be wired in really easily into the helmet. Now, we've been using this for a couple of weeks. I've used it with a bunch of other people, a bunch of other riders on the mesh system. I used it myself to actually shoot my first impressions, which we're going to chuck up after this, so you can hear the quality of the mic. But what I've been really, really impressed with, having used loads of intercoms before, is just how easy it is to use. There's no sort of spinning wheels. There's not an abundance of buttons. It is literally just 4 buttons that are shaped very differently. So you can get a real easy feel for them almost straight away. The sound quality through the speakers is really impressive. I've found that with a few I've had previously, they haven't actually been loud enough. And I was actually listening to music while I was riding on track. Even at 120, 130 mile an hour on a racetrack, you could still hear the music. The sound quality is exceptional. So just to show the sort of the clarity of the intercom, we're going to play the actual first laps I did wearing this helmet, first impressions, and you know, just show you a bit of the clarity from the microphone as well. If you're into your sort of vlogging, if you want to be recording stuff, it can be connected up to an action cam, so you can hear the clarity from that. So yeah, let's play the tape. This is Alpinestars all new Supertech R7 crash helmet. Now this is in a medium and it fits really nicely straight away. It's about 1400 to 1600 grams depending on your size, but doesn't feel heavy on at all. It doesn't feel sort of too big or too chunky. It's not meant to be a proper race helmet, it's meant to be more of like a sporty road helmet. And yeah, it feels really comfy on. So visor system down, the visibility is really good. So up, down, side to side, I can see quite a lot. Be really interesting to see how clear the voice clarity is on this. So I've got earplugs in, but it's not actually too noisy, especially considering it's quite windy. That's a bit quicker now. We're at 110 mile an hour. Brake somewhere around here. Still sort of working out where I'm going, to be honest. A bit dirty. It's really nice and stable. As I say, it's quite open here, as you can see. The wind's sort of carrying, so it is actually very windy, and even so, it's really nice and stable. Those little side wings, they may look and sound a bit like a gimmick. And I don't know if it's a combination of that and the shape of the rear spoiler. It sits really nicely. Yeah, first impressions are really nice. I'm someone who really likes a proper sporty lid. I like them to be light, I like them to be aerodynamic. I don't mind a little bit of wind noise. Oh, already got to check the flag. But yeah, first impressions are really good. It's the ambient temperature isn't that hot as well. I've got some of the vents open and get a nice bit of airflow in. Haven't had any problems with steamy visor either, which is nice. Especially when you're trying to chat, learn a track. So yeah, it's only a very, very short term first impressions, but I'm certainly liking what I'm feeling. So first impressions, first miles in the bank, it's been really impressive. There are a few little niggles I've found, but it's going to be really interesting to see how this helmet holds up over the year, and if it is sort of the perfect blend of price, protection, sportiness. Stay tuned for the full review coming soon, and please leave any questions or comments below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.